Straight ahead on CCX News, riding along with Brooklyn Center Police.
I like going out and talking to people in the public and interacting with them.
Their perspective on how to build trust with the community. Plus, meet a cop and enjoy a beer. The annual event in Robbinsdale that will be a little different this year. And an ash tree's worst enemy, now discovered in Golden Valley. CCX News starts right now. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. At a time when officer-involved shootings have strained relationships in some cities, local police are working to build trust.
On Wednesday, we showed you how police in Brooklyn Center use a variety of outreach efforts to interact with youth and older residents. Today, in part 2 of our CCX News special report, Building Trust, Cops in the Community, Delane Cleveland shows us how Brooklyn Center officers interact with the public when they're out on patrol.
Brooklyn Center is home to more than 30,000 people.
I love it out here. It's just a peaceful place.
The officers tasked with protecting and serving this city begin their day at police headquarters on Humboldt Avenue.
I was looking for a first ring suburb outside of Minneapolis where I would have an opportunity to have a lot of different experiences, a lot of different cultures, and this was the place that fit that perfectly.
Cody Turner is one of 4 officers in the Street Crimes Unit, which is responsible for patrolling Brooklyn Center's main commercial area.
We'll spend a lot of time in that area doing traffic stops and subway stops and just doing interaction with the public.
And during each stop he makes,
there's a couple of mounting options. In the back of the camera, you can't see it, but there's a magnet embedded inside the camera.
A body camera records every moment of the action.
The human eye can see a lot more than what the camera can. However, it gives a more first-person view of what we're seeing and what we're encountering when we're speaking to somebody in person.
It's a tool officers have used for the past year and a half.
It has been something that we've needed for a long time, and it works very well for not only court cases, but any type of officer complaint or interactions with the community where there's some confusion about what was done or what was said.
Yet body cameras can only do so much toward building trust.
I like going out and talking to people in the public and interacting with them.
Officer Turner let us tag along on a recent shift, and he says that how police interact with the public as they're patrolling the streets goes a long way toward shaping public perception.
I've had, across the board, very good interactions with a lot of people in the public, and it's very rare that they turn negative or anything like that. And the majority of the people go away happy, even if some type of enforcement action is taken.
On a normal day, Turner could stop anywhere between 5 to 15 cars. It doesn't take long before he notices a car with a cracked windshield and a missing front license plate.
How are you guys doing today? Good. Where are we headed to?
But instead of writing the driver a ticket, he takes a different approach.
I'm not going to give any citations or anything today, but make sure that you go ahead and get the windshield fixed, okay?
And he even offers the kids a treat.
You okay with me giving your kids some stickers? Okay. You guys want some stickers?
It's a simple interaction that he uses as an educational opportunity.
Citations are very expensive, and a lot of times these issues that are wrong with these vehicles require money to repair them. So if we're charging them a fine, on top of that, they have to spend money to repair the vehicle and still put food on the table. It's kind of counterintuitive.
During a 10-hour shift, he also teaches lessons while he patrols the city's retail core.
Hey, make sure you use the crosswalk, please, okay? Use the crosswalk, please, so you don't get hit by a car. All right, thank you.
And chats with folks who simply want to say hello.
I believe over here in Brooklyn Center, the police officers I've encountered are very nice.
If that's the perception, then it means that the training the officers go through has paid off.
Every year, at least 2 or 3 times a year, we will have department-wide trainings for our in-service where we go through scenario-based training where we're continually sharpening our skills at communicating with people and de-escalation, things like that.
It's a formula that Brooklyn Center Police believe has helped them develop a good relationship with the public.
Brooklyn Center will be the prototype for what's right. Seriously, because they're always calm, always.
Brooklyn Center has certainly had its share of challenges, but as recent economic development has pumped new life into the city, police say safety has improved. Over the last 10 years, crime has trended downwards. For instance, violent crime is down 16% so far compared to 2017. Shannon?
Thank you, Delane. Federal funding is also key to ensure police officers get properly trained. On Tuesday, Senator Amy Klobuchar visited Maple Grove's National Night Out kickoff party and weighed in on how that funding can help improve police and community relations.
With some of these issues with responses and how victims are treated and how perpetrators are talked to, you want to make sure that, and use of force, all those things, that there's really good training, because that's an issue. And that's why I think federal money on training and making sure we have police officers hired and police officers that reflect the community is really important.
If you want to get an up-close look at how police departments operate, consider attending a Citizens Academy. Many cities offer multi-week classes that begin in the fall. You can learn about behind-the-scenes policies and procedures at the police department. These classes are free, and to find out more on how to apply, you can contact the police department in the city where you live. One of the largest outreach efforts of Robbinsdale Police and Fire Department is happening this weekend.
It, too, is a way to build trust in the community.
It's safe to say that this is our favorite time of the year.
Robbinsdale Fire and Police Departments will roll up their doors, show off their equipment, and they could even teach you a thing or two at their annual open house.
We will be doing live fires that will do a great job of replicating a burning house. We will have Christmas tree fires, a lot of fun things like that.
This event is a way for people to learn what each department does.
We can reach the public and show them what to do when problems arise.
Anytime that we're able to take that extra effort and have positive interactions with our community and be able to kind of have that opportunity to let our guard down is very important for the police department.
But this year's event promises to be bigger than previous years.
This year we're bringing back, boy, it's been gone for almost 10 years, but we're bringing back one of the highlights of the summer, which is our street dance.
The street dance is back with live bands going from noon until midnight on Saturday.
Everybody seems pretty psyched that the street dance is back.
And Wicked Wart is getting in on the party too.
From the very beginning, this is our signature beer.
The brewery is donating $1 for every sale of their most popular summer beer, the Birdtown Blonde, to the Fire Relief Association.
No one ever really acknowledges them aside from calling 911, so it put the spotlight on them and just recognize these people as like great people that help their community in every way that they possibly can is what we're trying to do.
And there is much more planned for Saturday in downtown Robbinsdale. We have a rundown of events all posted on our website.
In other news, in Golden Valley, the Minnesota Department of Agriculture has confirmed the first case of emerald ash borer in the city. The emerald ash borer is a destructive tree insect that defoliates and eventually kills ash trees. The insect was discovered in an ash tree at Stockman Park. It's estimated that more than 20% of the city's trees are ash. Affected ash trees will often show signs of infestation in the winter months. Midsections of the tree may show splitting bark, woodpecker damage, or S-shaped tunnels on loose bark. Golden Valley plans to remove ash trees on city property as its budget allows and replace them with a variety of other trees.
A decision looms for Brooklyn Park City Council members. They will decide whether to put a Parks bond referendum on the November ballot. A Parks bond referendum could range anywhere from $18 to $26 million. It would replace a 1997 referendum that expires this year. If approved, it could pay for a variety of projects, from neighborhood park improvements to a new destination park. City leaders have also discussed a second referendum to pay for a $24 million aquatic facility. But it appears more likely that will not appear on the November ballot.
I don't want you to believe that if we don't include the aquatics facility in this, that we won't get an aquatics facility, because I truly believe as long as I'm on the council, Susan's on the council, we will fight for this. The mayor, we want an aquatics facility in this community.
The City Council is expected to vote August 20th on what kind of park referendum to put before voters. Still ahead, where kids learn a whole new kind of fishing.
We will take you to extreme fishing camp next. Plus, youth football players in the Osseo Association get geared up for the season.
But first, hope you like the heat. Near 90-degree weather is sticking around through the weekend. Some area kids are getting to do what probably most of us wish we were doing right now.
That's right. They are spending the week on the Mississippi River in extreme fishing camp. That's this week's What I Learned at Summer Camp.
All right, let's paddle forward. forward, everyone.
It's a beautiful morning. The sun is shining, the water's perfect, and these kids are off on an adventure.
Don't be a lily dipper. Get your paddle in the water and move some.
Cruising down the Mississippi from Coon Rapids Dam Park on their way to a few fishing holes.
Are we going to be fishing off of here?
This is Extreme Fishing Camp. Why extreme?
Instead of just fishing off piers, it gets them an opportunity to get them on lakes, catch bigger fish, different kinds of fish that they never got to fish for before.
Tomorrow, they'll take everything they caught.
We take a smallmouth bass, a northern,
and have a fish fry. But this camp's about more than just catching and eating.
It gives an opportunity for kids that don't get to fish a lot.
And also kids that do. Chet Davenport tries to get out fishing every week.
12 hours on the weekends.
When his parents told him about Extreme Fishing Camp,
they got me into it and I felt excited. And so I signed up, we did it, and now I'm standing on the Mississippi River and it's super fun.
You might think a kid who fishes as much as Chet could teach the counselors a thing or two, but even this seasoned angler can learn something new from the Three Rivers guides at this camp.
You can get tips and tricks from other people, and everyone's really nice, and it's a lot of fun.
Even a whole new kind of fishing.
I've never tried fly fishing, and so in this camp they teach you how to do skills that you normally wouldn't know.
In a time when kids have a reputation for being more interested in video games than being outside, Will Brennan says this camp shows that's not necessarily true.
A lot of these kids like being outside and they like to explore things.
Extreme Fishing Camp ends today with a fish fry. If you'd like to get your kid in for the next one, there is a waiting list. But Three Rivers staff says to sign up as early as possible for next summer, and you can do that starting in January. So mark your calendar.
Never
right?
too early to think about
That's
going
right.
fishing.
Still ahead, instead of taking a trip to the library, we'll show you a way where the library comes to you.
But first, Terry Tuma drops by for his weekly fishing tip. Jay Wilcox is in next.
The Osseo Football Association held its annual youth camp this week. The camp is an opportunity to bring together the football community and get ready for the upcoming season. Here's Jason Malillo with more.
The Osseo Football Association summer camp brings together kids in grades 2nd through 8, and a lot of them keep coming back year after year.
It's just fun. I love football, and it's football. So I love tackling, catching, throwing, blocking, all that.
It's fun, and we learn how to tackle and block, and all the high school kids show us how to do stuff, and the coaches help us.
The numbers for this year's camp, as well as for youth football in general, are down a bit. That's probably due to concerns about head injuries. OFA coaches and administrators are working to address those concerns.
We really support heads-up tackling, which is taking your head out of the play early, so wrapping and then pulling the head out and rolling instead of trying to drive through and taking that would-be tackle down. So there are a lot of concerns with parents about a contact sport, and so we want them to understand that as coaches and parents that it's important to us as well that they learn the right way to make a tackle, the right way to play football. So we hope to see those numbers go back up, as the next years kind of progress and as we go through the program and we really focus on the safety aspect of this game.
Along with Osseo High School coaches, a lot of the varsity players volunteer. It's a good way to give back to the program and also get fired up for preseason practice.
Just being out here back on our field, it just makes it seem even more real. We just come out here, we bond as well. Even after this, we have captain's practice, just some more bonding, just so we know that it's almost go time.
The Osseo Youth Football Camp wraps up on Thursday night. The first day for high school practice is Monday. Well, the Wayzata American Legion baseball team jumped on I-94 to head to western North Dakota for the Central Plains Regional in Dickinson. They lost a tight 1-0 battle to Millard West of Omaha, Nebraska in the opening round of the tournament Wednesday. That put Wayzata into the losers bracket against a very familiar foe, the other Minnesota team in the tournament, Tri-City Red. In a back-and-forth battle, Tri-City comes out on top 10-5 in 8 innings. Wayzata surged into the lead with a 3-run sixth, but couldn't hold off Tri-City, who tied it with 2 runs in the 7th and then scored 5 times in the top of the 8th, so Wayzata is eliminated. We've seen the past couple of weeks some of the new products for anglers that were introduced last month at the ICAST trade show in Orlando, Florida. Here's Terry Tuma with more.
This is going to be the final segment of new products at ICAST. Let's start out with Daiwa. They have introduced a new series of rod and reels, very lightweight. They're all black, by the way, and they're going to be available only at specific retailers. So make sure you check with some of these retailers. They're not real expensive rods, by the way. Right around, in the mid 100 range, 149, 159, 69, 129, in fact. And then also they have introduced now some other new reels, which I don't have with me, but also to a line-specific Tatula braided rod. Very, very impressive rod. And then to the soft-sided tackle bags, which they introduced last year, but they have enhanced that with more products. But what really caught my attention was a line spooler on the external of the bag. So if you need to replace line in the boat, for instance, you just put your spool line on the external components of that bag and start to wind it. Do not need a second person. The other was what's called RMD, a rod threading device. This took 3 years in the making, and all you do is put your line in what's called a bobbin, and then you don't even tie a knot, and you just thread it right up the rod guide, just as this, and it brings the line right up into the guide itself. Very, very innovative. Again, the only one in the country. There is no other manufacturer that has this product. And finally, Berkley has introduced new top water lures, different sizes, different shapes, different colors. Also, just great products that are available, will be available. Some are available now from ICAST. Be sure to tune in next week for some bass fishing and other tips.
Thanks, Terry, and that's all for sports. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Jay. Still ahead, bringing the library to your neighborhood.
We'll show you what's popping up in a local suburb near you. That's when we come back.
And finally, summer reading brought outdoors to you.
This summer, Hennepin County Libraries are once again offering pop-up libraries like this one in Brooklyn Park. It's set up every Wednesday afternoon from 2 to 6 p.m. at the Brooklyn Park Farmers Market at Zane Sports Park. The idea is to expose more people to their local library, especially among minority or underrepresented communities that might not be familiar with how the local library works.
Basically, our main goal is let them know what we offer besides the typical services, and especially Hennepin County has wonderful services, the online resources, and the big collection is downloadable.
The pop-up library is in Brooklyn Park every Wednesday through October 3rd, and that's all for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
We'll see you back here again Friday, starting at 4.